sort of maybe all my fault.
No, it's all good. Okay, then we are going to call to order. And this is, it's 4:07, John. Okay. Do we have, has anybody had a chance to look at the minutes? And if so, do we have a motion to approve the minutes? Take a second if you guys want to glance at those, since it's been a minute since we've been together. Whenever anybody's ready,
Yeah,
you
somebody
can
make a motion?
motion to approve.
Second.
Sure, motion.
All right,
Have a
Michael,
Motion,
who wants to second that?
I'll second.
all right.
Thanks, Jeff. All in favor? Aye, show of hands. Yeah, thumbs up. Great. Thank you. Okay. So do we have any visitor comments, Todd?
I did not have any. And there is nobody
No
here, so
visitors.
we're good.
All right, thanks, Laura, for doing that. Checking that.
Fine.
Okay, then, we have this situation again where we have old business and new business kind of intertwined. So just an update on the sustainability plan. I'll speak to that briefly. We pulled the survey together, and that has gone live. So exciting. Todd, you sent that out
It was Friday.
Friday. Okay,
morning.
thanks for doing that. And that went out to,
All the department heads, and then the city clerk, I believe, sent it to the council members. And the
okay,
mayor, and she sent it to the boards and commission chairs for them
Okay.
to send it out to their people. So,
oh, great, okay,
so I'm sure she didn't send it to you.
right.
Because it's coming from you, so.
Yes, okay, that's great. Thanks for doing that. I reached out to Jenny Starkey.
Yeah.
Is that her last name?
Mhm.
And she is trying to hunt down a
Businesses.
list to send it to. I was also thinking, and maybe you all can offer some suggestions of if the boards and commissions got it, do we have like a chamber, like I know we have a chamber of commerce for like Shrewsbury and like,
Shrewsbury, Rock Hill.
Yeah.
Webster, yeah.
you know, should we send it to for the Webster people through the chamber? What should we just reach out to the taxing districts?
So
does
the
it-
taxing district chairs will have gotten it. through boards and
Okay.
commission chairs.
Okay,
Rebecca Now, you could probably, it's probably worth just having a conversation with Rebecca Now, who's the executive director of the chamber.
okay,
She probably has a list that just includes Webster
Yeah,
business.
I would think so.
okay,
The other thing I would suggest
Yes.
is that, I'm pretty sure Jenny must be on it, but I know Mara's on it. There is a Facebook page for Webster business owners only. So it's a
Hmm.
private Facebook page.
okay,
But often stuff like this, Mara or Jenny can post in that group.
Mara's no longer in charge of business districts.
I just haven't seen anybody yet. Oh, yeah, so actually Eric
Eric
may be in
Peterson.
there now. too,
Eric,
instead.
okay,
Yeah,
so-
Eric Peterson.
cross out Mara.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Add
he's
Eric.
absolutely right. Thanks, Todd, for that.
Yeah.
Business districts.
Okay, so,
I messed up this morning
Oh, you did?
because I copied her on something. She was, I'm not over that anymore. Like, oh yeah, I keep forgetting that.
okay, so they might have, okay, so that's a Facebook angle as well to get that out there. Okay.
The third.
yes.
The third option is, in addition to the Old Webster Business District,
Uh-huh,
there's something called the Old Webster Trade Association.
Yeah.
And they have, I want to say something in the order of 70 or so businesses that belong to the trade association. And so that, and Eric knows how to get in touch with that.
okay,
That's another avenue for reaching business.
Businesses.
okay. Eric,
We'll be thinking about school district?
I am. I don't want to leave anybody's voice out, anyone's voice out. And I really was like thinking very broadly. Like, it'd be great if I could get this to like residents who want to take it.
Right.
So
But
that-
where
that-
do we,
yeah.
does that become too wackadoodle then?
Not too out of, well, not everybody's gonna do it either.
Yeah.
So the police community engagement report, did a
Mhm.
survey, and one of the things that they did is have Jenny, the Friday page newsletter has more than 1,000 subscribers.
Uh-huh.
Jenny can run an article about
Oh.
this and
Yeah.
include the link
Send a
there.
link out. Friday page.
What is everyone's thoughts or anyone's thoughts on if that makes sense to share it with, just Webster residents,
public.
being that the terminology is a little bit like business or organization?
Yeah.
Should we tweak it to make it a little more citizen centered
No,
or?
Do you
What's
want
our, what's our goal?
Yeah, I think right now I don't, like, I want to just listen. I want to see what the priorities are for people, like, we have those, please rank these. I want to see, if, I want the plan to speak to what our people feel is a priority.
Well, if our people is Webster residents, and business owners, then it's everybody, right?
Yeah. Do you feel there would be value in tweaking that language in the survey to take like the businesses orgs out and put, your neighbors and make it more citizen focused, or does that mess up our data?
Can you have a second survey
I think,
that's just geared towards
yeah,
residents?
yeah. Does that,
I guess I'd want to look at that survey again and see.
Yeah.
How many wouldn't apply, or whether they
Right.
could be
Right.
sort of tweaked slightly.
okay,
I thought it was an excellent.
I did
Mhm.
too, but it was geared towards more
yeah,
organization type.
The other option is to think about it in terms of waves. The first wave is business, get what information you
right.
can from that.
okay,
And then do a
Learn
resident.
what you can then about asking questions in the second round that is more broadly distributed.
okay, I like that idea. That also makes me feel less stressed out about doing this right this second, okay. So wave 2 will be then citizen
Geared
focused.
toward the residents, yeah.
Can we put it on Facebook? Is that a thing? Like, if we get it on
You
the
can put
page,
City Facebook page, you can put it on the Parks and Rec page.
Yeah, 'cause
I mean- Okay.
Right.
Those are
It's
the
just
two
putting the
things.
link out there too. right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
okay, does anybody have any concerns or comments about the survey right now?
So I was just going to say, I like the idea of kind of doing it in waves, and maybe with that, out with the second wave outreach to individuals that I think we talked about at one of our meetings about doing some kind of like more physical outreach, like information sessions, and maybe
Yeah.
those things could happen together, and that might help build the number of people that would actually respond to the survey as well.
That's an interesting point you raised, Paul, because I was thinking by the time we would have our info sessions, our like open houses, we would have a lot of the plan kind of structured and written based on what the survey says. But I guess we could leave an avenue open, obviously this
For
is,
input.
yeah, for input and to be able to make some adjustments. So maybe that would be wave 3, where we have like kind of a survey or an ability to comment at that point in time. Yeah. Okay, thanks for bringing that up. Okay.
So I apologize if you all went through this last meeting and I didn't see it in the minutes. Has there been a general discussion about sort of the public engagement strategy from start to finish? Because I do think that, Jenny Starkey's here now. She's a public engagement officer, and she can help this commission construct that in a way that we get the most information that we can get. And so it might be worth inviting her to our next meeting to sort of talk through what that process might look like. Because she'll have more ideas about how to structure it, how to reach out to different kinds and groups of people than maybe we will.
Yeah, I actually, had reached out to her, and
For
to-
help with the survey.
for help with the survey to, because I was starting to fill out a survey on my own, Survey Monkey on my own, and the way I wanted to word one of the questions, we had to pay for it. So I just happened to like, any chance we have a
Yeah.
Survey Monkey? She's like, I just yesterday made an account.
Well, the other reason for talking to her is we're gonna start pretty quickly some engagement about the redesign, or potentially about the redesign of the pool too. So essentially we've got the police community engagement goal going on, we have sustainability going on, and we'll have Parks and Rec going on. She also maybe will help us figure out how to navigate that, so we're not necessarily stacking one on top of the other and asking for responses.
Okay, yeah, well, would it be, so, and here's Laura, I think that she adds a ton of value, and I think that that would be really important to ask her, to engage with this. I don't know necessarily, that, like, can we, like, the subcommittee meet with her, or does the whole group want to meet with her? Just because I don't want to wait like another month on sitting on the survey.
So I think number one is probably Todd needs to talk to Marie and Jenny and make sure that in terms of staff resources.
Yes.
We're on board. I really
Yes.
am not anticipating a problem. with
I don't
that.
know either.
But
Okay,
I think it's a matter of courtesy to everybody involved. That should be step
Absolutely.
number one.
uh-huh,
And then I think it's fine if the subcommittee meets with her.
okay. Does that sit okay with everyone? Like for us, the subcommittee to meet with Jenny so that we don't have to wait another few weeks to all meet together? If you want to be a part of the subcommittee, you can join.
It's not too late. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, never too late. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that's where we are right now, and we do have a bit of a kind of a loose strategy. Paul and Todd and I met, and to talk about just kind of loosely where we are, or where we want to see things go, that by the end of this calendar year, we have something for, in January for the council to put their eyes on. So that, we do this survey portion, then we do public comment maybe in October, at the end of October, and then we are kind of finalizing, or obviously not finalizing, just because I feel like this is just going to be such a living document, but we're getting some things kind of shaped up the way we want them to be. All right, coolness. Everybody good there? All right. Okay, Jeff, our Douglas Hill Development Subcommittee.
Okay, we met Thursday, and then we met several weeks prior to that. The subcommittee did, and had discussions about our thoughts about the Douglas Hill proposal, which I've tried to summarize in a draft letter, which I sent around, and sorry that didn't get here any earlier, but I guess the next step will be just to get input on that, and I was going to check. Do you know? I know the Plan Commission is going to meet the 31st of August for public comment only, and then the 13th of September. Are you expecting that to be the final?
So this is gonna be me guessing. I would say it's possible that September one is,
That's
but
what I
it
was
is
kinda
probably equally possible that October is.
Okay.
I would suggest though, to have that letter in order for it to be part of the public comments, we always 31st.
Right. That's
Because
why.
if they do vote September 1st, that doesn't give them much time to digest, or not September, in their September meeting, sorry.
Yeah.
That doesn't give them much time to digest what it is you all have to say.
Well, that's how we kind of hustled together at another subcommittee meeting last week. But
And thank you all for doing that.
oh, sure. Well, we had some good conversation, and I tried to summarize the comments in this draft. So everyone feel free. I hate to have to ask people to edit this on the fly right now, but.
Well, we could.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we've done this before.
All right.
Um,
I just want to make sure, first of all, that I included everyone's suggestions and that I, more importantly, expressed it properly in the tone of the letter.
Mhm.
As we talked about Thursday night, I just thought, there's questions and concerns that I've heard expressed, and then some things we wanted to recommend. And not necessarily be really prescriptive about it, but just fairly general. I realize we'll get another, a chance to chime in on this, everyone this goes before the full council, correct?
Yep. We will open a new public hearing.
Right.
Okay.
I like the letter. I think it really summarizes everything that we talked about really nicely.
You've got a lot in here, so I agree.
You guys had a heck of a meeting.
And again, I know I've kind of asked this several times, so I wasn't perfectly certain of it, but when it comes to things like energy efficiency and things like that that are already addressed in the code, what's appropriate for this commission to, can the plan commission require the developer to go above and beyond what's in the code in terms of this specific development? I love the general that said, encourage energy efficiency and solar energy, green.
So, no, you can't require anything. This is not a commission with regulatory authority.
Yeah.
However, council can require
Yeah.
such things, and so you certainly can make a recommendation that then may or may not be implemented by council.
Because it's gonna be done by an ordinance, correct?
Yeah,
Is
so
that my
there'll be
understanding?
two things that happen. The zoning will be done by ordinance, and then there will be a redevelopment agreement, and that would likely be done in the redevelopment.
Right.
agreement.
That's where you plug in all your
Everything
stuff that
we
you
say
want them
we
to do.
Require them to do.
Right.
So, yes, you can certainly make a recommendation. It's not clearly binding unless council also
Right.
endorses that recommendation.
So then that process looks like, taking kind of what the council might feel, or plan commission might feel the council might consider. And then when it's council comment time, we pull back together another,
I would send whatever you feel comfortable sending right now.
To the
Just
plan
because
commission,
plan
right?
commission can't do it, doesn't mean that it shouldn't be part of the record
Exactly.
earlier in the process rather than later. in the
Gotcha.
process.
okay,
And you can send it essentially the same letter to council in the public hearing.
okay,
And it'll be part of that public record, because if when we go to that public hearing, all the public comments have been sort of archived with the plan commission. And everybody who made a public comment in the last one can make a new one in this one.
okay. Elizabeth, did you want to say something?
I just wanted to get clarification on exactly on the plan committee. So they
Can
essentially.
you, Elizabeth, speak a little more loudly, and maybe I just can't hear.
I can try to. So the plan commission, they're essentially voting on whether or not that can become a mixed use zone.
Yeah, so they have, by state law, they're bound by, I have to talk this way, so forgive me for not looking at you when I talk. They're bound by 5 criteria in their decision-making, and I will not off the top of my head remember all 5 of them. But they have to do with how it taxes resources, like traffic, like other things. I wish I could remember the 5. I shouldn't.
Emergency services,
Yeah.
utilities.
So they have a pretty narrow yes or no decision-making power. However, they do, in terms of the zoning itself, can do some of the regulation defining heights and things like that.
And also defining, like, if we wanted to say X amount of green space or X amount of.
No, that would be part of I think that would be part of the redevelopment agreement rather than the zoning itself.
Zoning has those
Yeah, we
Rules,
have the
yeah.
baseline,
baseline, right?
but if
If
we
you wanna
wanted
go
to ask
above
for
that,
additional, we could define that.
if you wanted to change the zoning though, you could, I mean, in theory, we could ask the zoning commission to change zoning for all new mixed use areas.
Yes.
Okay.
What is for mixed use right now? Do we, forgive me, I have not looked up our code on that for.
Well,
Yeah,
we're
you
actually
have to-
gonna vote on something tomorrow night. This is in my little report. Right now, in our commercial districts, there is no by right construction of residential. You have to come do a planned commercial district. So we're gonna change that. I think it'll pass, although I'm not a very good predictor of any more of these things. So that by right, you can do up to 3 or 4 stories, depending on where it is, of mixed use, which includes residential with first floor commercial. So we don't have a good definition right now anywhere within Webster Groves outside of a special zoning process to do planned commercial to have any mixed use. So
Okay.
we're working on fixing that right now.
Okay,
When you look at the
That's
Webster
the
code,
issue.
it doesn't have anything in it that's applies any of the sustainable practices. So in my mind, we're almost a good way to go would be to actually to look at the Webster code and try to make the Webster code more sustainable rather than trying to work on each project as they come along, which we do need to do. But if we actually worked on the code, then we wouldn't have to address each project. It would just already be in the code.
yeah,
Way to do it.
And I think, isn't that part of that going to the state sustainability plan,
Right.
is to make those recommendations
Right.
that we then incorporate through ordinance for the long term.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Okay, so. Jeff, okay, so where are we then on this Douglas Hill?
Any changes, recommendations to language? I'm happy to do the commission letter, so I don't want to be everyone's voice.
Yeah. Right now, what I'm reading, I like.
Mhm.
What I'll probably do is let's give ourselves a day. Is that okay that we do that, Todd and Laura? Like to collaborate together, any changes that we make, we include Katie, right? Or do we need to, just for sunshine? Or can we edit this on our own and then send it over?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you make edits and send it to Jeff,
Okay,
that's fine, because that's just you and
one
Jeff.
to one.
And if John makes edits and sends it to Jeff, and then Jeff compiles it all together, then he can send it out to the whole
Okay,
commission to look at.
so,
That's fine.
As long as you're not voting on it, it's fine.
okay, so let's say so all of us, if we have things that we would like to talk about directly about the letter, send it to Jeff directly only. You'll make any edits or discuss, manage those discussions and then resend it out to the commission.
Right, CCK on it.
Yeah, and then we'll say, yes, this looks fantastic, and then we'll send it over to the plan commission.
Yeah, I would suggest you go ahead and copy council. It doesn't hurt for it to be part of our packet already. So
Okay.
that council members know. I mean, we don't get the plan commission packet as well, but lately it's been really long.
Yeah.
So having it show up in a.
So then
shorter
what I'll do is after you get it all finalized and send it out to everybody, then I'll send it to Mara to send to the planning commission, and I'll send it to Katie to send to the council.
Did you say our edits by,
When do we want those edits then? So
We could do it within a week. That would be. I'd like to get this process wrapped
Right.
up within, say, a week.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Make sure we get it there. plenty of time.
Get it ahead of time.
I was gonna say by Thursday, but a week is so generous.
The earlier the better. Always
Yeah.
qualifier.
Yeah. Does that sound okay to everyone? Everybody good with that process?
So just send any changes or suggested edits you have to me.
Good stuff.
it's an excellent letter.
Yeah.
It is, Jeff.
It is, really good.
It's really just compiling what everyone said.
Yeah.
Trying to throw it together.
We have a great commission. Okay.
Sorry,
thank you.
I didn't hear the timing on getting comments back to Jeff.
1 week from today,
Okay, thank you.
or earlier.
Earlier the better.
Okay, great. Okay, team, thank you for that. Okay, and then the Green Cities Challenge, which we are still looking at. Todd and Michael and I are gonna meet about that after this meeting. And Todd, I don't know if you wanted to go over anything from that right now. And does anybody need a refresher on Green Cities Challenge, what it is? It's, okay, Paul, fair. I don't think you were here for that. It's a regional, it started with the Green Business Challenge that's run through Earthway Center and at Missouri Botanical, and they've started to include cities, and various cities do just all some various green things. It's benchmarking, it's setting some goals. Some of them are low hanging fruit, some of them require a little more planning. So Michael and Todd and I have gone through this suggested list. And we have divided up a couple of each of the items into where they might fit in the sustainability plan. When this launched in, was it April? Or May, I can't remember. That's when I met the person, Derek Jackson from Collinsville, this is where the sustainability plan idea is coming from. So I have a feeling we're gonna do enough to be able to have met the challenge goals by the time it wraps up in October. But Michael and Todd and I are, who else? Was anybody else on that subcommittee?
I don't think so.
I can't remember yet. We're going to make sure that we can get a couple of these punch list items done, just because we've all been focusing on Douglas Hill and the sustainability plan. So does that make sense? All right. Good stuff. Okay, so for new business, I think we went over the next steps for our Douglas Hill sustainability, or subcommittee rather.
Yeah, hey, one thing on that.
Yeah.
Is anyone able to, or have interest in watching the August 31st public meeting? Sorry.
Thank you for remembering that.
And as well as the September 13th, if we have volunteers for both of them. I mean, I'm happy to watch one or the other.
Okay, yeah,
I think I signed up for the September one.
Okay.
okay.
Or I put it on my calendar or something.
And that's plan or the
Plan
council?
commission.
Plan, okay.
I can watch the 31st if I can do the 13th.
Yep, I got it, 7 o'clock, 13th.
Okay, they started the last one at 6, didn't they?
Yeah, they're starting at 6 now. They're gonna start the 31st one at 6.
Okay,
I'm not sure about September, so you might just check the calendar.
okay,
I'll just
Check the
put it
website. I'll have it updated.
okay. All right, thanks for bringing that up, Jeff. Okay, we ready to move on from Douglas Hill? All right, and then I think we just discussed the sustainability
did.
plan timeline. We identified key stakeholders.
We didn't say the next meeting. Right?
Our next subcommittee meeting for sustainability plan. I think we're gonna put a hold on that right this second.
Yeah, until you get some.
I'm gonna
feedback
talk
on
to
the-
Jenny
Yeah.
and see where we need to go.
Yeah,
from
I'm gonna
that.
I'm gonna reach out to Dr. Peoples and Jenny,
Yes,
and then I'll get
yes,
with you.
that's what you're gonna do.
Yes.
And then you're
And
gonna
then
tell
I'll get with
me.
you, and then we can proceed.
All right, good stuff. Remember my place. Okay. Then the last item I have on new business is, and this could be a field trip, it could be nothing. I don't know how much bandwidth we have, because I have asked, well, you all have risen to the occasion of making some subcommittee meetings and really moving the ball on some of these items. And so I'm very grateful. I recently set up a field trip for parks to go visit the MRF at Republic Recycling. Yvonne had expressed when I spoke with her in the spring, kind of like they needed a reboot on recycling in the parks. And so she and her team are going out there actually on Friday to tour it. I don't know if that's something that we need to be doing right now, but just so you all know, that is a possibility if we want to understand recycling a little more.
I can tell you, it's really cool to see how they do it all. It's quite amazing.
It is pretty awesome. So,
What
Do-
time Friday?
yeah, I don't, do we feel like that's an important way to spend our time right now?
You
You can hear it in
got
my
a lot on your
voice.
table, right? You got a lot on the plate. Might be something
Well,
future.
What time is it? Because many of us work. during the
Exactly.
day.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
yeah.
difficult to do.
Yeah.
I know that they're very accommodating and flexible at the MRF to like
Mhm.
do later in the afternoon type meetings, but again, for what we've been doing and what we're really focused on, I don't know that we need to do this right now. I just wanted to make sure I brought it up because Parks is going and I want to make sure everybody knows that that's something that we can do when we downshift on some of this other stuff and need to focus on recycling. So I brought it up just to say, we're not gonna do it. Right now,
Keeping you aware.
yeah. Is that fair, everyone?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, Laura, then, you have some things you want to share with us?
Sure, we talked about the August 31st Plan Commission. We talked about, well, I'll just say it again. So tomorrow night, we do have a vote on allowing for mixed use that include multifamily development in our commercial districts. So you don't have to go through a special planning process to do that. And hopefully that will help with some of the multifamily stuff that is possible. We also, tomorrow night, in our meeting will begin discussion of the American Rescue Plan funds that we as the city will receive.
Great,
More than $4 million.
Wow.
And there will be a public engagement process with that. There are, in some cases, fairly strict definitions, but some wide open areas for those funds as well. The first, I think, step in engagement is that right now, I believe that they're working on kind of just an explainer of what the American Rescue Plan is, what do these funds look like, and then what's the process that you can have input into how we spend them. And I assume that as we move along, this commission will definitely want to have some input on how we spend those funds. And
Mhm.
so I will do my best, and I know Todd will too, to keep you in the loop as that public engagement process goes forward. And then I hate to actually bring this up again, but where are we with bags? Because, you know, they
Yeah.
announced that Jazz Fest is going forward this year.
okay.
So I don't know if that's something that, do we just want to get done and off the list? It just hasn't been on for a while, and I understand why.
Yeah.
Right. It's been on hold, so we can take it off hold and we bring it back up, so.
I think with the supply chain disruptions,
That's true. yeah.
it concerns me. And Paul, just to catch you up to speed really quickly on this bags thing we're talking about is a grant that we wrote in 2019.
Yep.
And we were planning for 2020 to table at all of our events. So like 3 or 4 events in the Webster Groves area, Art and Air or Art Fair, what's it called? Jazz Fest, Community Days. And I think there was like one other little thing. Anyway, we were gonna engage with the public, hand out bags. 2020 had different plans for that. We've been able to put the grant on hold. And we just keep holding it. They're holding the money for us. We just need to decide if we're going to press go on that. Or we can give the funds back if we don't feel like that is what we want to spend time
Well,
on.
I would say that since that almost exact initiative was something that our previous speaker, I'm blanking on his name, from the city of Collinsville did.
Derek,
Same thing, yeah, all right. And it talked about how, you know, they used it and they felt that it was quite successful. And actually, he had a resource for the bags that was an Illinois resource,
mhm,
but you know, it's regional.
Yep.
right,
Yeah,
we
we have to
might-
bid it out.
Because the people that we were speaking to, I don't know. I mean, I know that it was bag made with 100% recyclable materials, but, you know, I remember it was also relatively pricey, and maybe we
Yeah.
could ask him
It was.
who his resource was too,
Yeah.
you know, when we, but I think we should do it.
Yeah, okay, you think that,
This is a recycled like grocery bag.
Reusable
Sorry,
bag.
Is
yeah.
Michael, you
Schnucks-
weren't
well, I
here
kind of
either.
caught the end of it. I
It's a
think.
Yeah.
reusable.
But is
grocery bag.
Schnucks back to letting reusable
Yeah.
bags?
Yeah, the grocery stores weren't allowing them either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. That's a
Right,
bad time to roll it
right,
out. 'cause-
yeah.
But yeah, if they're back and it's locked in, like, they're not gonna go back to not allowing it. anymore.
Yeah.
Like, if we're moving forward.
Then it might be valuable. So the initial bag that we had agreed upon was made out of 100% recycled content. It was a really sustainable company. The price was, it was a fairly pricey bag. It was
Yeah.
like $6 per unit. It was also made like in Indonesia though, or something like that. So that was the only like part. It wasn't local, but it was also one of these, like, you can collapse it into a tiny little ball. Super great. I think that the bags that Collinsville handed out were more of your traditional kind
Yeah,
of
they were.
that, whatever that fabric.
Yeah, gym bag looking.
Yeah. And, you know, but if it's local and there's no supply chain
Well, he
disruptions.
did have, it was branded with the city's logo, which
Mhm.
is something that we would do.
Right.
And actually, I think it has to be branded with the logo of
The
the.
St. Louis
Uh,
County
yeah,
logo,
sales
yeah,
tax.
Mhm.
But,
for the grant.
it sounded, and he also talked about how they kept some out to put in these baskets for new people.
New
in
residents,
the
right.
City, which seems really cool to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's spend the money on it. Let's do it, the grant.
Forget, is there a time limit when we have to?
There is, and we got a 6-month extension on it, so, yeah. So I'm sure we're getting close to.
To the,
So we have to get the bids out is what we have to do is our next step.
okay, so all in favor? Let's do it, aye, okay. And then, I mean, Jazz Fest is like soon,
In September.
yeah. Do we
I don't
wanna
think we'll have them by then.
yeah, I was gonna say,
If, like, does the city have a place where we can store bags? Because, you know, I know this is probably a horrible question to ask you, but you'll probably end up with, you know, needing to store them.
Yeah.
someplace if you're gonna-
Yeah. We can put them under our outbuilding at the service center. There's some room we can stack a pallet of boxes or whatever, however many we're getting. I don't
Okay.
remember what we said we were getting.
yeah, I can't
In
remember
the
either,
grant, I'd have to pull the grant out, look.
Probably isn't a pallet.
yeah.
But is there a deadline for when we distribute the bags? After we order them?
No.
Okay. So conceivably, even if we went forward with this right now, we can distribute them during the 2022 event.
Yeah, it's possible, right?
Do we have,
Because the bulk of the grant was the purchase of the bags, so
Right.
and
I
are
don't
we,
know if there are conditions attached to that.
yeah, I'd have to pull the grant to see, but I don't think there would be.
are we obligated then to write a little report as well for the end of the grant?
Yeah, if we reinstate the grant, then we have to start writing the reports.
Okay,
So the last time we did this, I think Patrick had sent out a survey. I forget, did we have to do that? Were we gonna do
so
that?
we were gonna do some community engagement, we were gonna have little like survey, hang out at the table, you know, conversation. Do we feel like we want to have that level of engagement again for this?
Well, can't you just fold it into the sustainability plan engagement?
Yeah. Yeah,
You can hand them out at that.
right,
Doesn't have to be an event.
Right.
yeah,
Or even just, you know, if you're at, I know Jazz Fest is too soon, but if you're at Jazz Fest, you're at the table, you know, we could at least print out maybe little things, it's like, go to the survey.
Actually,
or-
just have the QR code.
Yeah,
You can
exactly,
pull it up,
even
right?
better, see?
can we put the QR code on the back?
Well, that might be a
That's
little bit.
printing, yeah, that's
recursive.
Tricky,
Yeah. to make
Okay.
The printing look that good, yeah,
all right.
it wouldn't probably work.
Okay, so then, so how do we want to, then our next steps would be to start to get bids.
Well, I'll have to contact the county and tell them we want to reopen the grant, and then our next steps would be to bid it. So we can get the prices and order the bags.
Okay,
And then once we get the bags in, then we have to figure out how we're gonna.
okay. So we will start that process.
Yep.
And Todd, I don't know what you need from me to help make that happen.
Nothing.
Okay,
It's all on me.
okay. And then, yay, and then we'll revisit this. We'll put this on the next month's agenda to see where things
Yeah,
are
yeah.
and go from there to determine how we'll do the outreach. Sound okay? All right. Okay, thanks, Laura. Anything else?
I'm good.
Okay, Todd, do you have anything that you would like to share?
I met with Ameren today about the
Oh,
electric fleet program that they've got.
Mhm.
And I think we got the data that he was looking for. I sent it to him. I haven't heard back from him yet though. So hopefully then he can start diving into our data and come up with our plan. So it's moving forward.
very cool. All right. Okay.
Does Ameren
Um,
infrastructure, sorry, Todd, does Ameren help with the infrastructure, like the charging stations and
They-
everything like that?
Yes, they will help with the charging stations for both our fleet, and the city manager wants to have a public charging station here at City Hall, so.
cool.
In terms of helping me. is there a
It's,
specific amount of money
I could be wrong on this, but I think it's a 50% discount
that-
on,
Okay, yeah,
on the price.
and there's a lot of rebate programs.
Yeah, it's a rebate thing, yeah.
Yeah, and Jeff, I'll be leaning on you for that when that infrastructure bill comes through to help us understand that and see where else we'll be able to find some money for EV chargers. Okay, cool. You all, Christine has stepped down from the commission. So we have 2 spots. Jeff recruited Paul. This is a strong recruit. So that's awesome. If you have anybody in your world that you think would be a good fit, who's, wants to save the people on the planet, think about it and we can chat or just have them apply.
And then I'll have to apply through the city clerk's office.
Yeah.
And does Katie know?
Yes, she does.
Okay.
Mhm, yep.
Just hadn't seen it advertised.
And this commission is supposed to be 7 to 9 members, so we are now currently at 7, so.
Yeah, so I started reaching out today to some people. Okay. That is it that
Next
I
meeting.
have.
Next meeting,
Next meeting is Monday, September 20th.
and I will not be here for that, but I will have somebody in my place.
Okay, awesome.
I will also not be here on the 20th. We're going to Zion.
Nice. People will make me jealous with your awesome travel. That's amazing. Will we be okay with 6 if there's only
6,
6
yeah.
of us? Yeah. Okay, good.
You only need 4
Okay,
out of the 7.
okay. All right, so I think that's it. So who wants to make a motion to adjourn?
Motion,
John,
second.
GF seconds. Okay, everybody. Thank you. Everyone, thank you very much for the time you put into the subcommittees too. Good stuff. I really appreciate all of you. Bye, friends.